What's the best joke you know? A priest, a rabbit, and a minister walk into a blood bank. The priest says I'm a type A. The minister says I'm a type B. The rabbit says I think I'm a type O. A Texan was on a trip to Ireland and went into one of the pubs in a town there. He crashed through the door, strutted right up to the front and proclaimed, "Now I hear y'all are pretty big drinkers here. I have a challenge for any person here. I have $500 American for anyone who can down 10 pints of beer in 10 minutes or less." Everyone stared at the Texan for a moment, not saying a word. Nobody stepped forward to accept the Texan's offer. One man even got up and walked out of the bar. About 15 minutes later, a man walked up to the Texan and asked if the bet is still good. It was the man who had walked out of the pub when the challenge was first proposed. The Texan said sure, and 10 pints were lined up for the Irishman. The Texan started his timer, and the man started drinking. Everybody crowded behind him as he began. He downed each of them, one after another, and only 8 minutes later, he was finished. The Texan, surprised, but not angry, handed over the cash to the man. As he did, the Texan asked the Irishman where he went for those 15 minutes. The Irishman replied, "Well gee, I had to go to the pub down the street to see if I could do it first." Two nuns were riding their bicycles through the back streets and alleys of Rome. One turns to the other and says, "I've never come this way before." The other nun says, "It's the cobblestones." A man walks into a bar with a crocodile on a leash, and the bartender says, "Whoa, you can't bring that in here." And the man says, "It's okay, my crocodile is tame, look." And he unzips his pants and proceeds to put his dick in the crocodile's mouth. The crocodile doesn't react. The man then says, "Anyone else want to try?" And a drunken man at the bar replies, "I'll give it a go, but I don't think I can open my mouth that wide." A Roman walks into a bar, holds up 2 fingers and says, "5 beers please." Credit to Reddit. An American tourist is walking through a small town in Ireland. It's raining, so he thought he'd stop in at a pub for a nice pint and a warm fire. He comes up to this pub and there's an old Irish guy standing outside getting absolutely soaked. What's worse is, he has a fishing pole with the line dropped into a nearby puddle. The American tourist feels really bad for the old guy and tells him to come inside to the pub and he'll buy him a drink. They're both inside, taking the first swallow of their drinks by a roaring fire. The American, wanting to make small talk with the old guy, asks, "So how many did you catch today?" The old Irish guy, now with a twinkle in his eye, replies, "You're the 4th one today." On their way to get married, a young Catholic couple is involved in a fatal car accident. The couple found themselves sitting outside the pearly gates waiting for Saint Peter to process them into heaven. While waiting, they began to wonder, could they possibly get married in heaven? When Saint Peter showed up, they asked him. Saint Peter said, "I don't know. This is the first time anyone has asked. Let me go find out," and he left. The couple sat and waited, and waited. 2 months passed and the couple were still waiting. While waiting, they began to wonder what would happen if it didn't work out. Could you get a divorce in heaven? After yet another month, Saint Peter finally returned, looking somewhat bedraggled. "Yes," he informed the couple, "you can get married in heaven." "Great," said the couple, "but we were just wondering, what if things don't work out? Could we also get a divorce in heaven?" Saint Peter, red-faced with anger, slammed his clipboard onto the ground. "What's wrong?" asked the frightened couple. "Oh, come on," Saint Peter shouted, "it took me 3 months to find a priest up here. Do you have any idea how long it'll take me to find a lawyer?" ETA thanks for the award, kind stranger/s. I became the head of Old MacDonald Farm. I am the CEO. Edit, you are all too kind. Thank you for the awards. A German, an American and a Russian are stuck on an island. Local tribe of cannibals took them to the chief. He said that he'll give them freedom if they will succeed in 2 of his tasks. The first task was to collect 10 of the same fruit in the jungle nearby. The first to return was German. He brought 10 oranges. Then Chief orders him to stuff them in his asshole, and if German shows any emotion on his face, he'll be killed immediately. He tried to stay calm, but screamed of pain during the 3rd orange, so they killed him. The second one was Russian. He brought berries. He was doing the second task just fine, but, when almost finished, He started laughing uncontrollably, failing the task, so cannibals killed him too. Then German meets Russian in heaven. Gee, you've been so close. What happened? I was doing great, felt no pain at all. But when I started to stuff ninth berry, I suddenly saw an American returning from the jungle. He had the widest smile, while carrying 10 pineapples. A man and a boy are walking through a dark forest. The boy says, "I'm scared." The man says, "You're scared? I have to walk back alone." A man was at the bar. A strange woman in a red dress sat down beside him, put her hand on his leg, and she whispered in his ear, "For $50 I'll do anything you can ask with 3 words." He thought it over. "Really? Anything I ask with 3 words?" She agreed. So he leaned over, handed her a $50 and whispered in her ear, "Paint my house." A pirate walks into a bar with a steering wheel in his pants. He goes to the bartender to order a rum, then another, then another. Finally the bartender can't take it and asks the pirate what's up with the steering wheel. The pirate says, "Ugh, it's driving me nuts." 2 guys are sitting on a porch. One guy turns to his friend and says, "Hey, if there was a nuclear bomb heading our way, what would be the first/last thing you do?" His friend replies, "I'd screw anything that moved." "What about you, what would you do?" "I'd sit really damn still." Why does a chicken coop only have 2 doors? If it had 4 doors it'd be a chicken sedan. Saw this on This Place But. A Jewish man dies and goes to heaven, standing in front of God. To lighten the mood, God asks him to tell him a joke. The Jewish man tells him a joke about the Holocaust. God then says that wasn't very funny. To which the Jewish man says, I guess you had to be there." 2 goldfish are sitting in a tank. One turns to the other and says, "I'll drive, you man the turret." A backpacker is traveling through Ireland when it starts to rain. He decides to wait out the storm in a nearby pub. The only other person at the bar is an older man staring at his drink. After a few moments of silence the man turns to the backpacker and says in a thick Irish accent, "Do you see this bar? I built this bar with my own bare hands. I cut down every tree and made the lumber myself. I toiled away through the wind and cold. But do they call me McGregor the bar builder?" "No," he continued. "Do you see that stone wall out there? I built that wall with my own bare hands. I found every stone and placed them just right through the rain and the mud. But do they call me McGregor the wall builder?" "No." "Do you see that pier out there on the lake? I built that pier with my own bare hands, driving each piling deep into ground so that it would last a lifetime. Do they call me McGregor the pier builder?" "No." "But you duck one goat." A man dies and his wife goes to the coroner's office to discuss the funeral arrangements. The man died while wearing a very nice blue suit. She tells the coroner, "My husband always wanted to be buried in a nice black suit. Can you please dress him in a black suit?" The coroner said, "But he's already wearing a very nice blue suit." "Are you sure?" "Yes, it was his final request," she says. She goes home but receives a phone call just a few minutes later from the coroner. "I think we've found the suit. Would you like to come take a look at it?" When she arrives, she sees his body is now wearing a very nice black suit. "That's perfect. How did you find one so quickly?" The coroner says, "It was easy. We had another person die today who was wearing this great, black suit, so all we had to do was swap their heads. I don't have a girlfriend, but I know someone that would get really upset if they heard me say that Mitch Hedberg had the best one-liners hands down." Mickey and Minnie Mouse are in divorce court. Save the judge is taking to Mickey. "So let me get this straight. You want a divorce because Minnie is crazy?" Mickey responds, "No, I didn't say she was crazy. I said she was ducking Goofy." On the top of a tall building in a large city, there was a bar. In this bar, a man was drinking heavily. He would ask the bartender for a tequila shot, then walk out to the balcony and jump off. Minutes later he would appear in the elevator and repeat the whole process. This one guy watched this happen a number of times until curiosity got the better of him. Finally he went up to the man and asked, "Hey, you keep drinking, then jumping off the balcony. And yet, minutes later, you're back again. How do you do it?" "Well," said the other man, "the shot of tequila provides buoyancy such that when I get near the ground, I slow down and land gently. It's a lot of fun. You should try it." The guy, who was also quite drunk, thought to himself, hey, why not? So he goes out to the balcony, jumps off, and seconds later he has splatted straight onto the ground, stone dead. The bartender looks over to the other guy and says, Superman, you can be a complete asshole when you are drunk. This dude washes up on a deserted beach and meets a couple that's also stranded there. He and the wife immediately lock eyes and feel the chemistry for some genital bonding. The husband tells the stranger, hey man, see the tall coconut tree over there? We take turns all day climbing it to the top and seeing if any ships are approaching that could rescue us. The stranger replies, say no more friend. I'll take first watch. And he swiftly climbs up the tree. After a few minutes up top he shouts out, hey guys, come on, stop ducking down there. I can see you. The married couple, puzzled, reply, what? We're not ducking. The stranger says, oh crap, my bad, it just really looks like it from up here. Over the next 3 hours, the stranger on top of the coconut tree repeats this multiple times, constantly asking the couple below to stop ducking. The couple, exasperated, continue to deny any ducking. Finally, he comes down and the husband goes up the tree for his shift. The minute he goes up, the stranger and the wife start ducking. The husband on top of the coconut tree looks down and thinks to himself, God damn, it does look like they're ducking down there. A bodybuilder was admiring his body in the mirror when he noticed he was suntanned everywhere but his penis. So, he went to the beach, naked, and buried himself in the sand with only his penis sticking out. Two elderly ladies walked by and saw this penis sticking out of the sand. One of them moved it around with her cane. She said to her friend, there isn't any justice in this world. Her friend asked her what she meant. When I was 20, I was curious about it. When I was 30, I enjoyed it. When I was 40, I demanded it. When I was 50, I paid for it. When I was 60, I prayed for it. When I was 70, I forgot about it. And now that I'm 80, the damn things are growing wild, and I'm too old to squat. 3 logicians walk into a bar. The bartender asks, the 3 of you want a drink? The first one says I don't know. The second one says I don't know. The third one says yes. A man walks into a bar with revolver saying, who the duck ducked my wife? Everyone is silent and then guy in back of the bar says, mate, you ain't got enough bullets. Honestly, best joke I've heard XD. A man decided to dig up the corpse of Beethoven as he was Beethoven's biggest fan. He dug and dug until, clank, he hit the coffin. He pried it open only to see the corpse of Beethoven angrily erasing and ripping up his music. He glared at the man and yelled, shut the door, I'm decomposing. A guy wakes up one morning and he hears a voice inside his head. It says, quit your job, sell your house, take all your money and go to Las Vegas. He ignores the voice, but later he hears it again, quit your job, sell your house, take all your money and go to Las Vegas. He keeps trying to ignore it, but the harder he tries the more he hears it. Pretty soon he's hearing it constantly, quit your job, sell your house, take all your money and go to Las Vegas. So finally he can't stand it anymore. He decides to believe the voice. He quits his job, sells his house, puts all his money in a suitcase and flies to Las Vegas. The moment he gets off the plane, the voice says, go to Caesar's Palace. He takes a cab to Caesar's Palace. The voice says, go to the roulette wheel. He makes his way back to the roulette wheel. The voice says, bet it all on red 23. He bets every cent he has on red 23. The wheel spins around. It comes up black 11. The voice says, fuck. Anyone lose a bunch of 20s wrapped in a rubber band? Well, I found the rubber band. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment to suggest what video we should do next. Please check some of our other videos out.